What is freaking up? My name is Eve.
My name is Sarah.
And we are Out Perfectionist. Happy... What day is it today?
Tuesday that we're recording, yeah.
It is Tuesday. On this episode of Out Perfectionist, we will be discussing / talking about common fake rules.
So these are like rules that you make up in your head, but I will start with a classic fake rule that was for my generation. Don't turn the light on in the vehicle while they're driving.
Okay, I genuinely thought that was illegal.
I honestly thought it was illegal. And you know what? The funny thing is I never actually remember our parents saying that to me ever. I remember Nana saying it and Grandpa, but I never remember our parents actually saying it.
I don't think they ever did.
That it's not okay. So I'm not even kidding you. If my kid wants to read in the car and she's like, oh, like we're driving, like, can I read? There is a little part, I swear, of my husband and I that feel like someone is going to pull us over and A, give us a ticket, or B, we're going to have a parent yell at us because we think that it's actually illegal.
I don't think it is.
I maybe in some states or some provinces it is, but it honestly like is not an actual law.
Oh.
Ben just doesn't like it because like he'll look back and it's bright and he'll look forward, but he has like very blue eyes and he has like I don't know, he's like half body, he's like 3.25 plus or something. Like he's a very
That was super weird.
That was super weird.
I've never had to do that before.
And you know, GarageBand. Oh, there was an update. Oh, I have a question. Do you ever watch on your Apple Watch?
No.
Okay, so I put my Apple Watch on the charger, you know, after I found it because I go through like times with that, like whether I'm going to use it or not. And my husband uses it every single freaking day.
Yeah.
Well, today I woke up, I'm like, oh, fuck, I didn't put it on my charger properly. It's dead. Ben puts his on. He goes, what? Mine was on the charger and it's still black. I'm like, yeah. And then his Siri goes, what can I help you with, Ben? And he's like, what the fuck? I don't know. Restart? Brighten? So he did a hard reset on his watch. I don't know if it's working properly, but it was super weird. And there was an Apple update like last night or whatever that our phones went through.
Oh.
So I'm wondering if there's going to be an update on the computer soon. But there was an update for the watches or whatever. And I guess mine just automatically did all the stuff. But I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, it was weird.
It just
freaking chaos. Oh.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, I turned it and it just like fully stopped.
Right.
But, you know.
Oh, yeah. So there's those fake rules. What's my other fake? Another fake rule that exists is don't eat and then go swimming. Wait 20 minutes. That's a fake rule.
Well, any form of like high activity after eating is not the best.
Exactly. It's not recommended, but it's not like you're going to drown and die like they made us feel.
Yeah.
Nana used to start a stopwatch and make me wait 20 minutes.
Oh.
And I ate fucking cucumber. But that's just water. If it's water, I'm water. I'm fine. I'd probably be more buoyant.
Water on water in front of water.
Yeah. Can you think of any like? So basically, what can this arose from a tiki-taki? Are we surprised? What am I going to get our things from if they take it away? That's my anger and disdain in my voice. My brain stopped. Basically, what it was is you, in some cases, you're like, I can't do this without doing this. Or other things can happen is like, say maybe it was like a rule that was like completely made up. So it can vary along the way. But there's a lot of people who will be like, well, I can't do the laundry unless I fully sort the laundry first. Then once I sort the laundry, oh, well, I'll better make sure I'm going to do the white. I'll go white, then darks, then colors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they work through a process a very certain way when in turn, you actually don't have to do that stuff that way every single time. So some people are like, well, that's leaning towards OCD. And I was like, well, OCD actually isn't that. That's just pattern recognition that they're doing.
Yeah.
And you're coming up with a system. So there's certain things that you sit down. Like, I know one of my things that I do is like when I sit down to edit the podcast, most of the time, I absolutely procrastinate until Sunday night. And yeah, the podcast goes up at 6 a.m. Do I finish it 4 hours before it posts? Sure fucking do. And what I'll do is at first I would sit down and I have a snack. And I have like a little activity. And I would like coloring or putting Lego together or something. Then I would end the podcast. when I first started doing it, I would sit down and just listen to the podcast and edit it. So slowly I started like integrating more stuff in. And now, as long as my desktop can handle it, which is starting to get a little bit older and a little bit slow, it got mad at me when I tried to do this the other day, but edit the podcast, but then also like create the cover art and then do all the other stuff. So I'm multitasking at the same time instead of just being like, you know, that, what do they call it? Time. You know, when you have like a doctor's appointment at 4 and it's 2 p.m. and you're like, well, there's no point. I can't do anything.
Yeah.
Because I got to leave, and then you backtrack all the time and figure that out.
I'm trying to think of any of the ones that I have.
The funny thing is, like, you don't like recognize it until you say it out loud to someone. So like one day, I'm going to use the laundry one as an example because it's the best one that I have like a secondary example of like literally someone calling me out. Is I was like, oh, like, I don't know how if Ben goes to do the laundry, he just shoves it all in and then turns it on and then starts hanging it up. And Jen goes, well, like, how do you do laundry? And I was like, well, I sort all the laundry. And I went from sorting it into simple piles to like micro sorting. And I was like at my wit's end, and I'm talking to her and she's like, why the fuck are you sorting that all out? So because I had one incident of something red turning everything pink, I used to separate all the red.
Yeah.
And then I would separate black. A lot of black in my house. And then I would separate out navy blue. Just wait. I now recognize why. White to me makes sense because my kid has like a ton of white uniform shirts. My son has like white golf shirts. I have like 2 white shirts. I'm wearing one of them right now. It's a Spice Girl shirt that Eve got me because I'm spilly. And then I would like wash all my jeans in one thing, all my towels in one thing. And I used to separate out all the underwear and all the socks. Mm-hmm. And then bedding would always be one, which bedding makes sense because there's like a whole different setting for it, and you can really only do it. If not, then you get a little like clothing dumpling that greets you in the washing machine.
I don't own white clothing, period. Like, I just really have it that like I can't wash my work clothes with anything else.
But that's different. And why?
Because they smell gross.
Yeah, and because you're a healthcare worker and there are things on your clothes.
Yeah.
And so that's specific, but the funny thing is, Jen goes, well, why are you doing that? And I was like, well, because, you know, like this late, and I justified each reason why. She's like, I understand and appreciate your justification for like your hyper organizing before you do laundry. I'm like, yeah. She goes, but if red leaks, then why don't you put it with the black? If red leaks, why don't you put it with the navy blue? Why aren't the navy blue and the black just all together? And I was like, what?
Like, I would say that a rule that I have is that if I don't think I have time to dry them and put them away, then I'll only do the clothes that I need.
Yeah, and then I'm the overzealous one who just like I had an infinite laundry cycle that I had to wash twice on Saturday because they smelled to high heaven. Because I'll be like, oh, I'll get all the stuff done. Don't worry. In the morning, I'll have all this extra time in the world. And then, you know, I didn't because my alarms didn't go off. And I swapped the laundry over. Another thing is like before I go anywhere, so aka coming here, because my husband's away on a business vacation. And I'm going to call it vacation because he's going to the lovely land of Prince George. And I know we have listeners there. PG. And my whole thing is like, well, make sure before you leave the house, make sure all the trash cans are empty because that's gross. I just realized I don't think the consider is, but I think he stopped in. And usually I was like, I want my house sparkling fucking clean. Like there was a cleaner there and you eat off the ground, which is great to come back to that.
Yeah.
But like, it gets to a point where like I need to like cut myself off, or I would literally stay up all fucking night stressing myself out, cleaning everything. And then by the time it's like you're like winding down from like prepping for all that stuff, and I would just be like exhausted because we'd also be like sometimes we're driving like 3.5, 4 hours. We're doing like all this stuff, right? And it was just like so much. So I just like doing your best is okay. Everything does not have to be perfect in the exact way that you want it to be.
I don't know. I feel like if I don't pack my lunch the day before, then I probably will just buy lunch at work.
See, and then I'm really funny because I don't pack my kids' lunches the day before, which my friend Jen's like, dude, you could save so much time. I don't, because when I was a kid, if my food was made the day before and sat in the fridge, I could taste the difference.
I can see that.
Like my kid eats a lot of produce. So like if you cut a cucumber, it'll kind of dry out a bit.
Yeah, I mean like your main thing that you're taking, like snacks and stuff. You can kind of do. But
I know, but I'm just like, oh, well, that takes like 2 seconds. I just dump everything into the thing. But again, in my head, I don't do it because why? Because I didn't like it when I was a kid, so I don't want to do that to my kid. I haven't even asked her. I haven't even offered.
Taste the difference between the
Yeah,
two.
I know. I think a big thing for me is you can tell that I grew up when there was like no really food restrictions. So I take peanut butter and jam sandwiches. Peanut butter, when it sits in bread overnight, it's different.
It's gross.
It's weird.
Well, also, I feel like you have to have peanut butter on the tops because if you have the jam on the top, then it soaks through.
Also, tastes like fridge. If anybody else understands tasting like fridge, thank you. Like when you put water in the fridge and you don't put a lid on it, it tastes like fridge.
Oh, yeah.
Or like when you're out, like another funny one is like when someone comes in from outside, they smell like outside.
I don't really smell people when they come out.
No, but like when the dog comes in, the dog smells like outside, or she smells like wind.
Yeah. Which usually is like, I'm terrified of the wind.
I know. Which is,
I couldn't think of like any specific rules that I made up in my head.
Like when you get up, are you like, I need to do A, B, and C?
I get up, I go pee.
I mean, everybody. I feel like everybody.
Oh, I know. I can't tuck my shirt into my scrub pants until I put deodorant on, because then I remember that I put deodorant on.
Oh my, that's a good fucking rule. Oh, I didn't put deodorant on after I had a shower.
So I'll like get dressed, and then once I put deodorant on, I'll tuck in my shirt, and then I know that I have. If I haven't plugged in my Apple Watch the day before, and then after work, I'll come home and I turn off my Apple Watch right away so that I have batteries for the next day. And if I don't do it right away, then it will die.
Oh.
Which it probably would die.
Yeah. I mean, the battery life on them is horrible.
It is. I'm trying to think of other ones. Yeah, I get up. I make my coffee, and then I take my meds with my coffee. Because then I remember that I had my coffee. That I had it. And then,
like, what happens if you're in the zone to do all that stuff and one of the things doesn't happen?
I have backup deodorant in 4 different places. I got one in my backpack, I got one in the car, I got one in my locker, and I have one in the bathroom.
That's like me. So, not just because I'm at your house, but my whole life I have had backup deodorant, a backup toothbrush and toothpaste, no matter where I worked. Like, if we had bins or like a drawer or whatever, I would always have backup everything because I was worried that I was going to forget something. Or like I'd have backup like shelf-stable snacks.
Oh, yeah.
In my drawer.
I have a random granola bar that just lives there.
Yeah, right?
I'm trying to think. And then if I forget my meds, I have a pocket pharmacy. I put my pens back in my locker in the same place. And I have backups in my backpack because I only like those pens. Pens at work are shit. They're like ballpoints. I hate ballpoint pens.
I feel like some of the ballpoint pens just like pop off when they come as like some type of like free something. And then other times you get them and they just like cut through the paper and you're like, what is the matter with you?
So I have this pen that I got when I was a Japanese exchange buddy. And it is the best like Japanese ballpoint pen. So pens from Japan that are ballpoint, totally okay.
Yeah.
Gel pens anywhere else, great. I hate 1.0 pens with a passion.
You know what my favorite pens used to be? As we just completely go off. But my favorite pens used to be those blue, green, pink, and purple ones by Bic.
1 second.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Plasticky ones or the other ones?
The plasticky ones.
Oh, I don't have the plasticky ones. I have the other ones.
I can't remember what they're called. I think they're just like paperweight ballpoint. I loved those, and I would literally just like take all of them and like alternate them while I was like writing stuff out at school.
I liked those. For me, like a lot of the fake rules are just more around, like, my sensitivities to things. So, like, if a shirt doesn't feel as too tight, then I'll just get annoyed.
Mm-hmm.
If I had a poor shift in my one pair of Hokas, then I'll wear my other ones. I was like, with the pens, I only use the pens that I like if I have a purpose. If not, I use pencil. Because pencil's erasable. I don't even care about that anymore.
Oh, I'll like pick up a notebook and be like, what I'm about to do, is it good enough to be in this notebook? And sometimes I'll like psych myself out, just like put it down. Like, I don't need this notebook. And then now I have like 15 notebooks. Because I like the notebooks, but I'm like, but I want to use them. But like, is this the true purpose for this notebook? To me,
I can get that though, because like I have like 1,000 notebooks behind me.
Yeah.
But like certain ones, the line length, that like it's wide ruled. I don't want to write wide ruled. I want regular ruled.
Or I'm like, I want the dot one. Or there was the day I tried to learn how to bullet journal. I got rid of a lot of paper that day because I was like, I didn't write that right. Oh, that's crooked. Oh, that doesn't look nice enough. I can literally put a line on a piece of paper and be like, it's not going to work.
That's what I have stencils.
Yeah.
So I have the stencils and I really like them. I got them off of Temu. And so like then I don't have to like grid them out. So I really like those. But I like rule that I have broken is I used to like fully set up my bullet journal and be like, oh, I didn't use it. Sometimes I just set it up and I don't use it. And I'm like, it's just pretty to look at.
I love how you just set it up and don't use it. I just buy them and then just say, oh my God, this is going to change my life. 8 months later. Hey, here's that planner that I found.
Oh my God, that big butterfly one.
Fuck, it was so cute. And then I bought one for Jen. And then Jen and I straight up looked at each other and said, we're probably not even going to use it.
Oh my God, it was so nice though.
It was so nice. I always want like a journal or like something like that where it's just like when I want to use it, I can use it. As soon as you put dates and shit on it, I'm fucked.
I'm like an in-between. I like dates, but I also like open space for things.
Yeah.
I find my biggest piss off about planners is when every single month is the exact same.
Oh my God, yeah. Boring.
Like, I want different colors. I'm happy with a theme throughout, but like, I need difference.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. I feel like no planner has hit as hard as like the ones that you get when you're in school. Specifically the elementary school ones because they were so big. I liked the big ones because I write really large. Just like I talk really loud. I write really large. And like my kid comes home with them and it has the spaces and stuff for writing and everything. And I just love them. Like I think they're they have like little like things at the bottom, like information. You got a little like book tracker at the top. They have all this shit. I'm like, it's so great. And I remember when I went to high school and they're like agendas and I'm like, fuck yeah. And I walk up, I'm like, what the hell is this thing? It's like a quarter of the size of the other one. But it's a quarter the size of the other one, but you have like 85 more things to remember in high school for homework.
I also find too, a lot of them, like they'll be bigger, but they won't have like the space to do them, or they'll have like random lines and separation. Like, I'm sorry, I don't need a page dedicated to one day. Or actually, you don't like dates. I hate when they have the times in them.
Oh my God. Why?
Why is that a thing?
You know what? If I want to do times, I want to write the times in. If I don't want the times, it's a great place for a to-do list.
Yeah. But then also, I feel like a lot of planners too, they'll be like, the beginning part, which will just be like month overview. Yeah. And then it'll be like month, calendar.
Yeah.
Week, reflection. I'm like, where's the daily planner?
I know.
Where's the to-do list that I have ongoing? Where's all of these other things that I've been looking at?
Well, and that's the whole thing is like, if you have one, I'd love to have one where it's like, you have this stuff daily, but then obviously it has like an area where you can like carry it over. That's why I feel like a lot more, like I like a lot more of those. I haven't found a planner that works, so I usually go for something that's like one of those like notepad ones. So it's just like a daily use type thing. But then it's like, I will literally write things everywhere. Like I have calendars all over my fucking house. I update everything. And that was the whole thing is like, I'd update the whole month and you'd look the whole month and be like, okay, it's in there. Plus, we have the Google one for when it's on the go. But then my kid was like, well, like, when do I have this and when do I have this? So I went to the Dollar Tree and I got this, like, it's just straight up like a weekly one. There are a couple things I would change on that. Like the line spacing is too small for a kid. But like you fill it out and it's like goals for the week. And then days of the week, it has the spaces in between where you can write stuff. So I'd be like, oh, you're eating hot lunch today. You're getting this. And like all these little things. And it was great because then she sees what's there for the week. And that's all that she needs to see. And she has that like expectation. So she's got daily and then she has just the week versus having to look at like the giant, monthly one. And the monthly one that I got is great. Unfortunately, the company doesn't exist anymore that I got it from. But I wish the boxes were bigger. I understand why our mom got or used to get a desktop calendar and put it on the wall because it just made so much sense. But we had 6 people in our house.
Also, she'd only like the ones that had the lines. But my big thing too is like all of those like daily pads are the same thing.
Yeah, I'd like one where it just changes it all.
Yeah,
like you've got like, I don't know, 7 different ones or whatever. So wherever you start, you get a different thing and it's fun. I don't need a day on it. I don't need to be able to write the date on it, to be totally honest, because I'll know exactly what that's from.
Also, like, I like a good, like, spiral notebook of them, because then, like, I can refer back to them if I need to.
I'm a spiral notebook person. I'm not like I don't mind side spirals. I love just being able to, like, flip up and down. I don't know why. I find it very satisfying. It could be because, like, I grew up with a lot of people having those desk calendars.
Yeah.
The funny ones where they have, like, the Charlie Brown comic book of the day, and you would either pull it, like, rip it off or flip it over.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I don't know. I feel like it's, like, more efficient use of my time using something like that. But yet again, I have never found a planner that has ever worked for me.
No.
Maybe I'm not a planner person. Maybe I try so hard to be a planner person. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just a daily pad person and you're a notebook person.
I don't know. I like a good planner, but also I find that I need to, like, have one that's partially set up that I can doodle on, but also, like,
right?
That's a lot for...
Or like the ones that you can, like, color in stuff.
Yeah.
Just that little extra bit or, like, that added bit of, like, freedom versus it being super rigid.
I also find many planners are very, like, they're either, like, neutral or, like, really feminine.
Or, like, I love neon, but they're either, like, neon or my favorite is the ones that are just black. I'm like, no, I gotta buy special pens. This has become a whole thing. Do I have an issue buying the special pens? No, I do not. But, because they came out with ones that were all black that were just, like, regular. And I liked them because I used to get those, like, milky white, like, gel pens.
Yeah.
And do stuff in them. But, like, a gel pen, you sneeze the wrong way before it dries and it smudges, so...
Certain ones do.
Yeah.
I get these ones from Amazon that I really like, and then I ordered a new pack.
Dude, what's that girl who tests pens?
Oh my god, yes.
So satisfying.
Oh.
But yeah, there's like, it's funny because there's little things like that. Like, there's some days where I'm like, in order to do anything today, I need to make a to-do list. And then I either make a to-do list or I make it like a micro to-do list, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then other days, it's like, well, every day I get a good morning from Jen. But she's like, what are you doing today? I'm like, well, this is kind of my plan. And now I'm like, this is my plan. But if it doesn't work out, I know that it's fine.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to do what I can do. And she's like, oh, okay. It's like I've come to the conclusion of I think that I've been taught that in order to be a functioning adult, you need to have matching furniture, which I know from my understanding, is the millennial stereotype. Hey everyone, this is Sara from Out Perfectionist as you are listening to us. As you know, we do have Overwhelm the Label where we're providing comfy clothing, hoodies, t-shirts, and all that other fun stuff for all our neurodivergent folks with fun designs that are a blend of things that we enjoy and celebrating diversity. Since you are listening today, and if you're located in Canada, here's what you need to do. If you go to our website, which is overwhelmthelabel.com, enter the following code, all capital letters, listener 10, and you will get 10% off your first order. There's no minimum purchase required, and we now have a flat rate shipping of $10.95. So we have 2 collections that are coming up, this summer collection, and we're actually relaunching our basic collection because you know what? It was too basic. We're calling it the Not So Basic collection, and we will be revamping the design with a little extra flair, vintage style of shirt. So come on over to overwhelmthelabel.com or .ca as long as you are in Canada, and we will set you up with some comfy essentials. Have a warped and twisted day. But I've like slowly changed things out. But I was talking to Eve the other day, and I don't think I'm a dresser person. And my clothes never really make it to the dresser. And if they're in the dresser, there's a 95% chance that I haven't worn that in months.
I think because the majority of my wardrobe is sweaters and sweatpants, I am not a dresser person. I think if I was like a corporate girly who wore like blouses, I could think that I would be, because the majority of your tops would be hanging up.
Yeah.
But I wear like pajamas to work.
I honestly think the time that my closet was like the cleanest is when I lived with Rebecca.
Mm-hmm.
And like I had the 4 quadrant. So there was like 4 different places to hang things. And then right down the middle was like all cubbies.
Yeah.
And that worked really great, but it was very well made. Like and these closets were huge in my apartment.
Oh, they were also like 9 feet tall or something.
And then they also had those amazing front hall organizers in every single closet. Like nothing was like a naked closet. Like it all had like built out drawers and like all the other stuff. It was so nice.
That was definitely my favorite apartment.
That was my favorite apartment. Like I loved the apartment I lived in Neiltown because of like how close it was to stuff and everything like that. And it was like a shoebox, and I like legitimately had so much fun. But out of all the apartments that I ever lived in, that was my favorite because it was 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. It had a little laundry room, which worked out great, where I had like a little tiny version of the black shelf from Costco in there with like extra stuff. It had all the organization stuff, so I didn't really have to think about anything. The only thing I would change in that is it had baseboard heating, which where we live is, unless you moolah, there's a reason why that apartment was cheaper to rent than other places. And then maybe, change the configuration of the kitchen. I don't know how many pans Joey and I lost on that fucking oven handle.
I think that like, I don't know, your current place, I'm always just like, the like stairs part doesn't make any sense to me.
Oh my God, I feel like I'm slowly figuring out what works and what doesn't work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you have to admit that the shelves in the front hall closet have made a significant difference.
The ones on the top of your stairs?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, that's made a huge difference. There's bins there. You can see all the stuff. There's things that are still crammed in front of it every once in a while, but it's like, it has stayed pretty well. Like, it's not like, it used to be one of those ones where it was like, I wish the closet doors would have stayed on it because I'm just going to close them and not look at the mess.
Like, I think that area definitely is good. I find that a lot of the places that are like, it's like the landing's a weird size.
The landing is a weird size.
Like, when it's cold and it's like, okay, we're going in, and it's like, go, go, go.
Yeah, because it's like, and then it's like, the sudden rule of like, but don't go up the stairs because you have snow on your boots or whatever, which I understand because the ones that go up have carpet, but like you can clean carpets.
I know, but it's like you want to get in because it's cold. I don't know. It's very like weird orientation to me.
Oh, and that's the whole thing. My favorite thing is I always try to accommodate for my husband's size 14 shoes, yet his shoes never make it on anything that I put it in.
No,
so I've gone deep on Pinterest. And I have a thing that I'm going to do. And it's all dollar store supplies. So if it doesn't work out, it's still okay.
I'm new.
It's bins. Bins.
Oh my God, you're going to be the bin queen.
I'm going to be the bin person. I don't think I'm going to have it where you can sit, like have the thing where you sit on it.
No, because everything would go on top.
Because it's a surface. It's a flat surface. It would go on top, which would be bad. So I'm thinking hooks for purses, bags, and backpacks.
Okay.
So Ben has a backpack that he uses for work that currently hangs on the back of his office chair. So every single time he turns, he hits me. It's annoying. Obviously, if my daughter has a backpack, I'm not going to have a place for her lunch kit because that should be going the fuck upstairs.
Yeah.
And then have a thing for coats. obviously.
Can you get rid of that terrible thing on the wall? The Tree of Doom?
Okay, so it's not a Tree of Doom. It's actually a coat rack from IKEA, but it's not installed properly because, so I had like one of the coat racks that goes left to right.
Yeah.
And it was okay, but then we put up that giant thing that we were using for shoes, which is basically pantry shelves from IKEA, because we were like, oh, this will be great. We can fit our stuff on it. But it takes up most of the thing, and we thought we could put it the other way. And I was actually off by half an inch in my measurements when I did it with my phone because there was a shadow.
Oh, that's
rude. So I over-accommodated. Totally rude. And you can't shrink it. And then, nobody ever puts their fucking shit on it. And then it literally, like, the middle just becomes this catch-all because there's no bar there. And it's just become, like, a whole thing, and it's driving me absolutely bonkers. I feel like it would be better to be, like, repurposed and, like, shift where the shelves are and maybe put, like, the laundry baskets in there instead or something and get rid of the hanging. Hanging laundry baskets where everything floats. They're, like, magic.
I think they would also be good for, like, Charlie's uniforms. Because you can hang up her little uniforms on the middle section.
I don't hang up her uniforms. The only thing I hang up is, like, her vests and sweaters for school. Because those are made out of trash quality material. Most of the time, I just end up putting her stuff in the dryer because the fabric is so rough. If you don't put it in the dryer for a little bit, then it doesn't, like, she's like, oh, it feels crunchy. And I was like, I get that.
Yeah, I can't.
But yeah, like, the way that we have the laundry room works quite well, even though it's like, there's lots of stuff on the shelves, like, everything has been there. Mm-hmm. It's the place for stuff, like, it works out well, but I think just knowing that, like, when you do laundry, you don't have to do all of the laundry. Like, these are certain things that I'm literally stopping myself from thinking at the age of almost 38. It's like, it's okay. Like, if you do a load of dishes, it's better than doing it, cleaning the kitchen from top to bottom. And when you clean the kitchen, guess what? You don't have to go through every single cupboard.
Your kitchen also doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Oh, you know what I'd love to do? Just take out the cupboards and just have, like, free floating shelves. But
that sounds like a hazard.
I live in a rental, so that would be a no.
No, it's just like the depth.
Oh, yeah, it's made for short people. I mean, every single time I wash my dishes, my vagina gets wet. Not in a good way. Not in a good way.
Yeah. A lot of those, too, I feel like the rules that you have of, like, out of sight, out of mind.
Oh, if it is out of sight, it is 1,000% out of mind. Like, there's times where I'm like, fuck, I still own this?
Yeah.
And I'm not, like, a hoarder. Like, I go through stuff all the time. And then I'll go through things and I'm like, oh, I thought I got rid of this.
You know what always confused me is how many sets of sheets you're supposed to have.
Okay, so I found out something mind-blowing. Jen, I'm ratting you out. Jen has one set of sheets for everybody's bed.
I have one winter and I have one summer.
Okay, so I literally will be like, oh, that's cute, I should buy it. Or if something's on sale. So we literally have so many different types of sheets. So I went through a bunch of them because, you know, some of them wear over time in different ways. Stains. Some of them, like, wash funny or, like my husband, I have dry heels, so some of them get, like, worn out of the bottom. Mm-hmm. And I, like, looked through and I was like, oh my God. And I realized that was a lot of what made my laundry look like it was always off.
Was this
It's because they change the sheets every fucking Sunday.
I think also, we had a discussion about this. So Sarah was home yesterday because I said, have a day off, stay home, I'm home. And we were FaceTiming because I wanted to show her, I, like, made a sick bed for her child for when they're here. So I was like, oh, I want to show her. And then we were talking about coats. And so we came to the determination, because our fake rule was that you have a winter coat and you have, like, a warmer.
You have one for, like, almost every like season. Well, like, you have cute coats, but, like,
yeah, like, you only need 4 coats. So we were talking about it, and I was like, you know what I realized is that all of these people that we follow that are like, oh, you only need 4 coats are in California.
Oh, but my favorite thing is they'll be, like, wearing a puffy coat and it'll be equal to, so we use Celsius in Canada, and it'll be equal to like 20 degrees Celsius, and they're wearing like a puffer.
Yeah.
20 degrees Celsius Canadian is tank top and short season.
Oh, yeah. No, so I was like, well, you need like the light puffer, and we're going through the list. I'm like, man, I always was like, you only need 4 coats.
Well, because you're like, oh, I need a different one for each season. But that's the funny thing is like spring, where we are, it rains a bit more, which is great because we need it. But also, it's colder. So like you'll wake up and it'll be, in some cases, -10. And by the end of the day, it could be close to 20 degrees.
Oh my God. I just thought of a fake rule.
Yeah.
Your socks have to match.
Oh, that took a lot for me to break.
I just realized. I was like thinking of the conversation we had yesterday
Yeah.
on FaceTime, and I was like, there was something else that we had talked about that I was like, yeah, fake rule.
And that's the whole thing. There's the socks. But like, I realized that I was going to get rid of a coat, but I was like, there's actually a purpose for this coat, because it's almost like a vest coat hybrid is the best way to explain it. But I know of like probably a month that I would use it, but it would be used every single day for that month.
Yeah.
Or like I had this like winter coat and I had it forever. Oh, they have to keep coats until they break.
Yeah.
You don't have to. You can just like donate or give it to like someone else. I'm not saying that you need something new every single year, but I've had the same coat since I was like pregnant with my daughter. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, maybe I'm like, I kind of just don't want this coat anymore. And then I heard my neighbor, and she was like, she's on like a pension and stuff like that. She was just like, oh, I'm going to go to Walmart and see if I can get a coat on sale. And she came back and she didn't. And I was like, here, you could just have my coat. I'll just get like a different one. And she was like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. And it's it's not like a winter coat. So I know what I like. It's literally like a really thick, not a windbreaker, but like that other type of material. And it has fleece in it because I already wear enough fucking layers when I'm cold. Like I'm wearing a hoodie. I'm wearing fleece. Like I don't need 85 pounds. Plus, you wear the coat to the car. You take the coat off. Then you put the coat on when you're going around. I'm not like going through fucking hikes.
Well, exactly.
But the sock thing that you said. So like I made like an actual rule in my house that when our daughter was born, I was only going to have white socks for her, because I saw that Rachel on YouTube, who I watched, was like, save yourself the brain space when you have a kid and just have white socks. That way they always match.
Yeah.
I was like, smartest thing ever. And then as my daughter got older, obviously like people will buy stuff. And I'm not saying that I was just like, screw you, I shall ban colored socks.
It was me. I bought her fun socks.
She bought her fun socks, which is totally fine. But then when you have fun socks, you want the fun socks to match again, and you want to wear them as a pair, which then results in sometimes they're not the same wash, which results in a very large basket of odd socks all the time. And I literally was just like the other day, I'm like, fuck, I have 2 baskets now of socks that I need to put together. I don't know if anybody else, if socks are the bane of their existence. It is the last thing I do when I'm doing laundry. I separate out everybody's socks and put them into a basket because I don't want to fucking deal with them.
True.
And my husband comes in and goes, you know what we should do? We should just all have our own very specific set of socks, so that way we don't have to think about it. And I was like, sir, I did that and you made fun of me.
See, like our mom and it started off with like we would wash laundry and then she wouldn't have socks or I wouldn't have socks. So now I went to Costco and I bought 3 packs of one set of socks. We threw out the rest of her socks and we just have like a basket that we just pull from each day.
Well, and that's the whole thing is like, I was literally waiting for the socks that I like to come back at Costco because I like 2 different sets. But I'm also like on the search for like, I have size 11 women's feet and I would like a slouchy sock that is not too tight on my legs. And I have skinny legs. Like, it's not that hard, but every single time I want to have, it's like a corset on my fucking lower calf and it drives me crazy. I get like the grandpa band.
We probably need to buy new socks soon. But I like them when like they're all the same color.
Yeah.
Like
the same shade.
I like the Champion ones.
Yeah.
But they're pink and blue and I really like them. But also like it's frustrating to pair up socks. And then I wore the Puma ones for a while, and then they changed the Pumas, so now they're too small.
Oh, they changed the Puma ones. They're too small. And when I got them, A, they're too small, and B, what the fuck? Why are they so much warmer?
They are.
I'm sweating. I know. Why is everyone dropping the size of their socks so that way it's just a 10 or a 9.5?
I don't know. And then there's the
feeling
the Saucony ones.
Yeah.
I both really like. And they had them for like a week.
They have them for the week and then they're gone. But again, you buy those packs and there's like a light gray, a black, and whatever. And they always have it where it sticks out. Like, so everyone's like, shut up, Sarah, just go buy plain white socks. I've done that.
They're too thin and then my toenails attack.
Yeah, they're too thin or they start feeling icky after. Or my favorite thing in the whole world,
they turn gray.
They turn gray or just a random fucking color. And you're like, I literally only wash you with white. What the hell are you doing with your life?
Yeah. Maybe that's the next journey, is trying to find socks.
Or a rule that Eve helped me break was the fact that you don't have to wear a tank top underneath everything after I had a kid. So I literally wore a camisole, like a full-on
or multiple,
atypical or multiple until like 2016.
But she kept on saying that she was too hot, and I was like, take off the cami.
I was like, but
oh no, my follow-up one is when she realized you don't have to wear a shirt underneath her sweaters.
Oh, my mind was blown when Eve said she was really hot one time at Costco and she was wearing like a pullover hoodie. And I'm like, well, just take it off. She's like, I'm only wearing a bra. I'm like, what the fuck? You don't have a shirt on underneath that? And she just looked at me and laughed. And now I'm like, that's so freeing. Also, that you don't have to have bras with underwire. Changed my life forever.
Okay, so I realized I only owned one bra that had underwire in it.
Mm-hmm.
It was my first bra. From then on, I just wear sports bras. Yeah. So I buy the 3 packs from Puma on Costco.
Because you know what? Oh, life is a run.
Well, also, like, I don't want it to be stabbed.
Ugh, that's always the worst. What's on the list?
In your opinion, what are some effective strategies for identifying and challenging these fake rules?
When you start just, like, getting super fucking stressed out and you're putting all this pressure on yourself, but nothing's getting done.
Just have a fabulous younger sister that looks at you like, really?
I know, with you, Jen, or I'll, like, reach out to people and be like, what do you do to do this? My favorite is when I said that to Selena one time. Selena just looks me straight in the face and she's like, why the fuck do you do it that way? And I was like, what are you talking about? I can't even remember what it was. I have like it's not like, it's like more of a routine than a rule. It's like before I go to the grocery store, I go all the way through my fridge, get rid of anything that has like expired or, the have to empty random packages or anything like that, or anything that's gone south that you were not expecting.
That's just more being organized so that you can buy more food or have a random smell.
I know, that's why I do that. Like I put the stuff in like those clear bins so that way it doesn't go too far to the back of the fridge because then the shit will freeze. I don't know what the hell is with fridges. They're made horribly now.
I feel like a lot of them is like my fake rules aren't damaging to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like tucking in my shirt before I put in deodorant is just to make sure I don't get deodorant on my shirt for one, and I remember to put on deodorant.
Yeah.
But it's not damaging to me. I think that then I've like added like having one in I bought like a huge pack of deodorant from Costco, and I just like put one in the areas that I need. And funny thing, our mom laughed at me for a while and was like, why do you have a car deodorant? I'm like, you never know.
Yeah.
Because I was using natural deodorant and then I was getting allergic reactions to them. So it would deactivate. And so I'd run to the car and put deodorant on. She was like, why do you do that? And I'm like, well, just in case. And then one day she texted me and she was like, I realized the necessity of having car deodorant. So like those types of things, I've just been like, oh, okay, it's great. I can keep it in mind. But if I have like a lapse, then at least I know it's still there.
Yeah.
And like a lot of them are like if they're the light in the car, maybe your parents told you that because like they had like Ben had eye issues, but it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
I found that as the fake rule that's not damaging to you. Like just go one step at a time. Like laundry. You will never be done laundry. Unless you're nudist.
It's a never-ending cycle. Yeah, unless you're a nudist.
But like all those people that are like, you need to change your underwear and your socks every 6 months. Who keeps track of that?
Oh my God, I just wait till there's a hole.
Yeah.
Unless I'm like, I do not like this anymore. It feels weird.
Also, like the ones that always get me is like, oh, well, I just bought this and it has a hole in it, and people are and you're like, oh, well, I'm just going to keep wearing it. And it's like, no, just buy a new one. Unless, like, if you can't afford it, that's totally different. But,
oh, yeah. I mean, like, you could bend stuff, but to, like, a certain degree. Like, eventually you just have to, like, let it go.
literally.
Or my favorite thing is when it's like, oh, but I have all this stuff, but I bought new things. And it's like, okay, well, get rid of some of this stuff. Well, these all have stains on them. Oh, okay, well, I'll just, like, donate them. Well, don't donate them. I like the shirts. Well, I can't try to get the stains out. Okay, well, I tried to get the stains out. It didn't work. Oh, okay. Oh, well, just put them back in the closet. Why?
Well, and then we usually have, like, a hair dyeing set.
Oh, yeah, I always have a hair dyeing set of clothes. That, like, to me, that one, like, makes sense. Like, there's some people who are like, I have to make my bed in the morning.
I don't get it.
That's not going to work. I have a little tiny bed ninja who comes in sometimes to, like, cuddle. And once she comes in, like, I'm going to let her sleep and I'm going to get up at my regular time, just like my husband's going to get up at the regular time and freaking get stuff done. I'm not going to make the bed with her in it or be like, you need to get up. I need to make the bed in order to end my cycle. Like,
I could get it if you need that little bit of, like, I completed a task.
yeah.
For me, it's not, like, the biggest deal. I don't sleep with anyone in my bed, but when I get up, I just, like, toss the covers over, get up, put my slides on, go.
Yeah.
I'm also not, I'm not a huge slipper person anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I wear slides a lot.
Yeah.
So I have indoor slides. The reason why is when I take the dog out, it's not cold.
But that's the funny thing. So it was like, I know for some people it's like traditional that they don't wear their shoes in their house.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what happened, but I think every single Canadian adopted that.
Yeah.
And it's like you go to a Canadian house party, you've seen those, right?
You see the shoes
at the bottom. And I just find it so funny. But we've always been like, oh, but we want something. And we want something that usually has traction, not just like a fluffy slipper.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, because if worse comes to where I'm taking the trash out, I want to be able to walk it all the way out. That's how eventually I got to fuzzy Crocs. But it was really funny because for the longest time, it was just like, oh, you don't wear your shoes inside. And then I saw somebody who was like, I literally have an inside pair of shoes, like school. Like we have in elementary school in Canada, a large majority of people will have an inside pair of shoes. And either in addition, they'll also have a gym pair of shoes, depending on like their school and stuff like that, with non-marking white soles. Or just non-marking soles now. But it's really funny how we're just like, oh, like that's what you do. So sometimes I've literally watched people, but they have like vinyl flooring. But like they go into their house and they just walk straight into their house. I'm like, the fuck, they didn't take their shoes off?
I think that's why a lot of like American households have to clean all the time.
Okay, that's what I was honestly wondering. Is like, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like when you're going in and out of your house all the time, like it's super dirty. It's also like inconvenient to take your shoes on and off. Like that's why I used to wear slides. I'm not allowed to wear slides anymore.
No,
that's an actual rule. But yeah, because I almost broke my foot.
And then proceeded to complain, oh, well, my foot just slid out. No.
It didn't even just slide out. It like slid out.
You
like,
had socks.
I wasn't wearing socks the day my feet were sweaty and I had sunscreen on my feet.
Oh.
I remember a rule I used to have when I was in my 20s. My eyebrows always had to match my hair. They always had to match my hair.
Why you had red eyebrows?
Okay, it wasn't red eyebrows. I went to MAC and they color matched my hair that I had to an eyeshadow. Yeah. So then it was like a burgundy, not really burgundy actually, like Ariel red.
Yeah.
And I literally would like fill my brows in every single day so that way they matched.
Weird.
But they had to match. Like that was like my brain. And if I had like any sort of root, like I needed it covered. Mm-hmm. That's like what I used to be like. It was like my one rule was like, oh, don't leave the house without, like a full bead of makeup on. And like I did in the TikTok, that was another thing, Now I'm in my full-on Adam Sandler. Sure. I just slap sunscreen on, sometimes some mascara, and I'm good to go.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of fake rules, you don't realize they are. Or like people are doing the opposites of what their parents have said.
I know there's a lot of people who like specifically do things out of like defiance. That's the funny thing though, is I find that sometimes there's just a bunch of rules, or I'll start making them up because I feel like it makes me more efficient. And then I realize it's actually not making me more efficient. It's actually making it a full-on fucking hindrance that I can't do the task because I think it has to be done a specific way.
I think though, like certain rules, then like don't leave your clothes on the floor.
No, my clothes go on a chair.
No, but I mean like, you know, when you come home
Yeah.
and you get changed out of your like work clothes,
Yeah.
and then where do those work clothes go?
My husband leaves them all over the house like confetti. My kid gets changed in her room and throws them in the wash.
Yeah.
Well, I used to have a little basket. Right now it's full of socks. But she would put all her uniform stuff into like one specific basket, so that way I could just throw it in to wash everything.
Mm-hmm.
Which I honestly think is just like, I started out by testing the system with doing that, and now I'm like, I need one for Char's uniforms, one for Ben's uniforms, because I mean all that shit could be washed together. And then I don't have a uniform, so it would just be like Sarah. Just Sarah's stuff or whatever. But like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that way when you have those things that you need in like a pinch, or you are going to be using continuously, everyone's like, well, you should only have clothes that you should use continuously. But like, if you have a uniform, it's totally different.
Yeah.
Well, then just pitch it all in. It's one load and it's good to go.
Yeah. Yeah. On that note, thanks for listening today. Oh, you didn't ask me about my survive and thrive clothes. I'm sorry, what's your thrive and thrive of the week?
You used to say thrive and thrive.
It says survive and thrive.
I could stay home for an extra day and work at my house. Woo! I was excited. I got ideas. Let's see if I implement the ideas. Also, if I implement them, let's see if they work.
Yeah.
Fun.
What was your survive?
Just getting through, hoping that my kid's cold just would finally go.
Mine was, I still have a delightful cough. See if you can hear.
No, I edited all your coughs out. Actually, there was a couple of them I couldn't get, but at least you were like super far away when you coughed.
I tried to cough out of the way.
Yeah.
And my thrive was that silicone broom. It's just really hyped my week. It's so great.
I love when you just find something that just like, it just brings so much joy. Maybe for a short time, maybe for a long time.
I know. It's just so great. Well, thank you for listening.
And stay as warped and twisted as ever.
Peace. Peace.
Thank you so much for listening to us on YouTube. You can find us on all of the socials: Instagram, Pinterest,
TikTok,
Facebook,
Snapchat. But if you're more of a like just an audio type person, we're on Spotify Podcast, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music. I think we're on Pandora, iHeartRadio, and you can also check us out on the RSS feed.
Thank you so much for listening, and feel free to go re-listen to some of the episodes that we have.